everyone, and welcome to the third take of me trying to film this intro, because I just cannot speak to a camera for some reason. Yeah, it definitely is 2020 all over again, because this is my second upload within a couple months, which is bizarre for me. Anyway, today we're going to be having a look at the Boss OC5 Octave pedal, the newest pedal from Boss. I've wanted an Octave pedal for quite a while now, but I've never actually seen one that's been fully perfect for me. They've always had subtle annoying things. Maybe it was issues with latency, or they didn't have a broad range of frequencies, the effect wasn't strong enough. But I recently saw a video from Rabi Masad playing around with this one, and oh boy, I had to get it. So the OC5 has all the standard bells and whistles you would expect with an Octave pedal, much like its older Boss predecessors. The main difference with this one is it has the option to switch it to a poly mode. Now this allows you to play chords and various sort of double-stopped melodies if you want, with the Octave effect attached. Along with that, while you're in poly mode, there is a control which allows you to edit the frequencies affected by the pedal. So turning it all the way down would mean it would only select the lowest note in the chord. Alright, so let's go over the controls on the Boss OC5. On the top of the pedal we have a trip switch for whether you're putting a guitar or a bass into it. Down below that we have the switch that allows you to change between the vintage and poly modes. The dial's going from left to right. The first one we have is the direct input, so this is how loud your actual guitar tone will be. Next we have your octave up level. After that we have your octave down level. And the last one is a dual control. In the vintage mode, it allows you to access a second octave down, and in the poly mode, that is how you control the range of frequencies affected by the pedal. Okay, so that's enough of me talking. Let's hear how this thing sounds. The signal chain I'm going to be using today is Chapman Guitars Ghost Fret going into the Boss OC5, that is just running straight into a Boss Katana and then into Cubase. So this is the dry guitar signal. Alright, let's turn around and see what she sounds like. Fun thing I found when I first got this pedal is if you have all of your octave settings turned all the way down and you have your direct input cranked all the way up, it actually gives you a pretty nice boost just kicking into the front of the amp. Now that we have all the levels balanced out, let's test out the first one. So this is the octave up, turned up to about 12 o'clock. Are you wanting to help me record? Is that it? Here's the octave up, cranked all the way up. So that sounds amazing. The tracking is spot on. There's virtually no latency at all, none that I could hear anyway. So let's move on and check out the first octave down. So this is the first octave down at around 12 o'clock. Oh, I love the way that sounds. What I love about an octave pedal is you can get these really thick sounding riffs just by playing single notes on the higher strings. It changes the way you can play and write. Here's the octave down gunned all the way up. Okay, so I've turned the first octave down to about 12 o'clock again, and I'm just going to bring in the second octave down. So that's it now, about 12 o'clock as well. Let's hear how that sounds. See, I really like that one because as it starts to struggle to maintain the really, really low effect on it, the first octave down kind of takes over from it, so you have this nice smooth transition between your second octave down and your first. Okay, so this is where the fun begins. This was without a doubt the main selling point for me on the pedal. It's the poly mode. So this should allow me to play various chords and multiple notes at the same time, and not have the octave pedal have to decide which one it wants to stick to the most. It should spread evenly across all the notes I play. Okay, so for this I've set the first octave down to about 12 o'clock and the octave up to about 9 o'clock, and I've got the pedal set so it should be picking up all the strings for the effect. Alright, so now I've kept the octave settings exactly the same, but I've turned the range control down to about 12 o'clock. This should mean that it will only be affecting the lower strings and the high strings will still ring out as single notes. Oh, let's go. That's exceedingly fun to play with. That's just... Okay, so if I just play, like, I don't know, an E minor pentatonic, you should be able to hear it go from the single notes and the octave come in probably around the G string. Okay, and once again, kept the octave settings exactly the same, but I have the range control all the way down to the lowest. So this should only affect the lowest note in any chord that I play. So yeah, fantastic sounding pedal. It's very clear, very articulate. The tracking is absolutely perfect, and I've just gone through the kind of basic settings just to kind of give you a quick idea of what you can do. But you can go to some absolute extremes with it and have fun. All you have to do is turn your direct level completely off and you'll just hear the pedal. So in the more extreme settings, you're basically just going to end up playing some kind of Doom-esque video game soundtrack. And with bringing back in your direct line and throwing up the first octave up, you can just get some screaming leads. absolutely adore this pedal. It is an incredible pedal. It's been so useful just to play around with. Something I don't know if I mentioned earlier was it actually has a direct out, so you can be running this in a dual amp situation. You can also have it running directly into an audio interface or into a PA kit if you wanted to split the sound different ways. Not only is it an incredibly useful thing to get a very particular kind of tone that I've been after for a long time, but it is so much fun just to play around with, test out all the various extremes of it, try it more subtly. It's just endless fun in one tiny little brown box. So thank you so much for watching. The video was meant to come out a little bit sooner, but we ended up moving house and the pedal took forever to arrive just due to COVID. A lot of fun new videos planned for the near future, as well as I'm going to start streaming fairly soon, so that's going to be a regular occurrence. So finally, I'm going to be active on this channel as well as anything else. Feel free to like the video if you guys want. If you have any comments about the pedal or the gear I'm using, or just anything in general, feel free to leave them down below. But until then, I will see you in the next one. Take care.